Well, today is one of my favorite weekends of the year, favorite Sundays of the year, because almost always for the past 19 or 20 years in October, Julie Coyne comes to speak to us. And sometimes the scriptures don't quite fit the occasion, and we have to work a little bit to make them. Other times they fit perfectly. And today is one of those days when the gospel fits perfectly. Because what we have is the story of a man, a rich man, who's really tried to live a good life, but he just can't give up the one thing needed to follow the Lord. And who knows what happens a week later or a month later, but that story is open-ended. In the case of Julie, she went to Guatemala to learn Spanish and then received a call from God. And she had no idea where that call would lead her over the next 20 years. She had no idea of the sacrifices she would have to make, of the good that she would do, of the community that she would create, of the wondrous things that the Lord would do working through her and her whole community. And so she is a living personification of what it means to give all that you have and then to come and follow after Jesus. So with that being said, I'm tremendously happy and honored to present to you Julie Coyne.
Good evening. Thank you, Father Dave, for your generous introductions all weekend. It always grounds me in a new way each time I hear the way you see our work. And thanks to all of you for sharing some of your Sunday with me so I can catch you up a little bit on what we've been doing in Education and Hope. Because love is the overarching theme today, I'd like to begin by offering you this prayer by Padre Gotuma, a blessing on us all as we turn towards the sacred work that we are continually called to do in this world. Jesus, you praised work more than words, foundations more than fashion. May we find our foundation in the work of love, demanding, tiring, true and human and holy, because love is the only foundation worth building on. Amen. This year is the 20th anniversary of Education and Hope. And for anyone new to our work, Education and Hope pretty much began right here in this church. Studying Spanish in Guatemala after college, I fell in love with the people in the areas we were doing community service work. I felt at home, I felt useful, and I wanted to stay, but there were no volunteer positions that would cover my living expenses. Back home for the holidays, I remember telling Ann O'Callahan how I wanted to find a way to live among these families. Without missing a beat, she said, "Why don't we gather some friends at St. Jerome? You can share your pictures, tell us about your work, and we'll pass a hat." Father David was brand new to the parish then. He didn't even know me at all, but he didn't hesitate for a second. It's a testament to the kind of person he is that he not only embraced this idea enthusiastically, he was quick to remind us all that this kind of outreach is exactly what church is all about. It's a testament to this parish that many of those same people who responded to that call many years ago are here in this room tonight, and they are still at the core of our faithful support base. This mission was born out of the simple goodwill and generosity of parish friends eager to support me in an endeavor of social justice. And from that tiny mustard seed, miracles grew. For more than 20 years, Education and Hope has empowered the lives of many hundreds of Guatemalan children and their families through our unique approach of integrating comprehensive scholarships, after-school tutoring, balanced nutrition, healthcare, psychosocial wellness, and family outreach. Your generosity has helped us grow into a vibrant, multifaceted program that provides the physical and emotional tools for children and adolescents to succeed in both education and in everyday life. We began with just one child in need of a scholarship. Over these past 20 years, Education and Hope has offered 3,300 educational scholarships, provided after-school enrichment to 1,700 students, and we've served over 913,000 healthy meals. Our efforts have yielded 165 high school graduates, 19 university graduates, and our adult literacy program has helped 13 women achieve 6th grade diplomas. This data is an enormous source of pride, but numbers only provide one type of narrative about our success. The individual lifelines of connection and the love that flows through them are what make us who we are. Our work has so many layers, so the only true way to describe our impact is through the story of one life. Preparing for today, I asked myself, what is it that continues to move me about education and hope? Who is one person who embodies the promise of hope at the heart of our mission? Jaime Sok is the embodiment of trustworthiness, loyalty, dedication, and service. Jaimito, as he is known at Education and Hope, was once a scholarship recipient and now our versatile handyman. You'll find him first thing in the morning, assisting the señoras by carrying the heavy bundles in the market. At midday, carefully shepherding the younger kids as they walk across town to the after-school program. And at day's end, making sure the buildings are locked up tight. In between, he literally does anything at all that needs to be done, humbly offering his hands wherever he can be useful. Several years ago, Jaime was blessed to find the love of his life, a beautiful woman named Angela. They married and had a son named Samuel, who's now 3. This summer, it was discovered that Angela had a very large tumor deeply rooted around her cerebellum. She required urgent brain surgery, but given the backlog of cases in our public general hospital, urgent meant that she was added as number 23 on the major surgery list, potentially a week or even 2 before she would be attended to. This delicate surgery implied incredible risks, possible brain damage, paralysis, loss of life. Jaime is challenged by an intellectual disability, and he didn't quite catch on to the severity of Angela's situation at first. When he finally absorbed the gravity of the situation, he was despondent. After her surgery, when Angela was in the ICU, Jaime stopped by the office to pick up some medicine that we had bought for her. Like many men in this culture, Jaime is not a hugger. He's so humble that you'll find him bowing his head to you in gratitude, maybe offering a light pat on the arm. Jaime has a complicated family history. He grew up in the care of his grandmother, who took him in as a toddler. His mother married a man who wasn't Jaime's father, and Jaime was never accepted as part of her new family. Expressing affection doesn't come easily for him. So when he greeted me by bowing his head, I asked if he wouldn't mind taking off his backpack so that I could give him a real hug. The very second my arms wrapped around him, he began to shake. Have you ever felt a heartbreak? It was as if a water balloon had suddenly burst. He sobbed and gushed tears while I held him. When he caught his breath, he could only softly say, "Gracias, Julia. Gracias, Julia," over and over again. Then he raised his eyes and said something I didn't expect to hear. "Usted es mi mamá," before dissolving in tears again. I cried with him and I told him how many people all over the world were praying for him and sending him love. When he regained composure, he said, "I don't know where I would be without you." I hear these words often, and I never take them lightly. But this time, I felt the precise way their intended meaning anchored my feet to the ground. Jaime spoke from a place so deep within himself that I could feel the vibration of his words. I don't know where I would be without you. I don't know who I would be without you. I want you to know that you can count on my loyalty for the rest of my life. Usted es mi mamá. You are my mother. Where would I be without you? He collapsed in my arms, and with a deep sigh, he amended his words and looked up again. No, you are my mother and my father. You are the love I have known in this world. I will be here for you always, whatever you need. It's the only way I can ever repay you. I held his face in my hand so he could see my eyes and feel my words. I love you, Jaime. We love you. We are your family forever. I had people waiting for me, and I had to leave Jaime in Lorena's care. But before I could get into the car, Lorena came out to the street to ask me if I could give Jaime one more hug. Later, she explained that it was the first time Jaime had cried throughout this whole traumatic process. She could see how much he needed to be held tightly in a motherly embrace to release what he was holding. He was struggling so much to understand what was happening. Jaime had not been able to assimilate that there might be a negative outcome with Angela's prognosis. His resolute faith contributed to his refusal to consider the possibility of anything less than a full recovery. I think the power of the embrace allowed some of the truth of what might unfold to enter his heart, creating some space for what was to come. Angela had an infection that required another surgery, and the family rushed to borrow necessary funds. But the hospital lost power, and the surgery was canceled. 1 day later, Angela died. A 32-year-old mother of a 3-year-old son, sister, daughter, wife, beautiful young woman. Our Jaime is bereft. He is utterly lost. But alongside of this tragedy, what rose simultaneously was the beautiful way Jaime was lifted up by our community. Before Angela's surgery, our entire staff took up a collection, gathering what they could spare to help Jaime with medical expenses. Food was sent home every night. His beloved señoras attended the overnight velorio, and they were there first thing in the morning to accompany Jaime on the long walk to the cemetery as the family carried Angela's casket all the way to her burial. What a sight to see the road of the cemetery lined with our children and families from Education and Hope, watching as many others walked in the procession. Recently, Jaime was invited to participate in an activity in our daycare. The children are very aware that Jaime is in need of extra love and care in this time of mourning. And before he arrived, they chatted about how Jaime is a part of our family and that he has a special place in our hearts. But the wisdom of 4-year-old Hadley drew a straight line to the deepest truth. Jaimito nos ha unido con amor. Jaime has brought us all together in love. For me, one of the most unsettling parts of this ordeal was seeing how little compassion Jaime is met with in the outside world. Jaime's disability is significant, but I was shocked to see the way he was dismissed and mistreated by members of his community, those who clearly saw him as less than. At Education and Hope, we reach beyond the surface. We know he learns things at a different speed. By seeing Jaime through the eyes of love, we see the divinity within him, and we do our best to reflect that divinity right back to him. Our love and appreciation for Jaime has helped bring him home to himself. Jaime's story is unique because it's Jaime's story. But the truth is, there is crisis and tragedy and heartbreak to spare among every one of our families, every single day. But wrapped in these particulars, I find revolutionary elements that indicate to me the presence of God in our work, the sustaining strength of community, connection, and belonging, the intention to truly see people as God would see them in all of their infinite beauty and perfection, helping them to discover and embrace their light and their worth. finding promise and possibility where others see problems, encountering darkness with hope. The miraculous grace revealed when we simply show up for someone who needs us, someone who needs to be listened to, someone who needs a hug. My life is altered each time I experience the redemptive, transformative, unconditional love that is the life force of our work. That radical love is the very heart of God in the world. The story of education and hope is as much about you as it is about me. This is a story about our innate ability to empower positive change in the world, no matter who we are, regardless of our resources. It's a story about the limitless potential of the collective power of love. It's about creating community and dissolving the distance between us by walking towards the margins with our hands extended to those in need. It's about remembering we belong to one another. In order to fully realize the idea that all of our lives are connected, I believe we must fill the sacred spaces between us with love. And this is what you have done as you have faithfully responded to this gospel call to action for more than 20 years, reaching out to kids and moms and families you've never met thousands of miles away. Community to community, heart to heart, you have bridged the gap between us with love. Entering into that sacred kinship is God's greatest wish for us. My gratitude to you for your support over the years is beyond measure. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for your solidarity and for your witness, for this loving parish community that sustains and nourishes me. Thank you for everything you freely share to bless and enrich all of our lives. You have walked by my side through this demanding and tiring work of love without ever turning away. Together, we have built a foundation of love to raise up this true and human and holy work. With all of my heart, thank you.
Now we get the hug.